The news is finally out, and the staggering recommendation that Boris Johnson, for lying to Parliament, should not get a 10-day suspension but a 90-day suspension is simply mind-boggling. Simply mind-boggling. And the committee has also recommended that he shouldn't be granted a former member's pass, which would give him limited access to Parliament, including lunches and seeing former colleagues. The sanctions in the report will be voted on by MPs. And of course, given Boris's subsequent behaviour and flouncing off, I cannot imagine that MPs are going to vote to recommend leniency. It is simply astonishing. Now, given also the fact that that committee has 4 Conservative members, it's stacked in favour of the Conservative Party. This is astonishing. Utterly, utterly astonishing. The report has dropped, and the report is damning. And yet we have flag wavers like Nadine Dorries and co. Claiming that Boris is the subject of a witch hunt. This isn't a witch hunt. This is an execution, and it is astonishing in its severity. These people have gone out of their way in the committee to blame Boris in a very stern and very clear way. I don't know whether from a political point of view this is good. From a moral point of view, this, I suppose, is a way to draw a line. So many people died during the pandemic, and they have to listen to Boris pontificate and claim that he's different in some way, that the rules applied differently to him. He led from the top. He was extremely proactive, and it's not that he should have known. This isn't something that he didn't, that he wasn't aware of. This is something that he chose to ignore, and it's entirely in keeping with his character. And I think the committee would be well aware of that, and that would probably guide their deliberation. And we shouldn't be misled by the teddy bear image, which is something he's had since the early days of Oxford, may have had even at school. I met him a few times when he was first in Oxford. I think I don't think our timeline crossed exactly. I think I was still there. I was still around when he arrived, or maybe there was 1 year. But I do remember being taken into the union a number of times. I was a member. I wasn't a very active member by that stage. To meet him, I believe I designed some posters or something for a ball that he was doing. We met and talked. And indeed, I've had links with his family since then. I remember the last election. I was at the election. I was in Channel 4, and I was in the green room with his father and his sister. Don't like his sister. And the lovely Rory Stewart. And I think Alistair Campbell was there as well. I mean, there were a number of people there, but there is a charm to the family. But one shouldn't be misled by that charm. In the case of Boris, that charm masks naked ambition. And every so often one sees it, and it's matched by contempt for rules. Now, it's all right to have a maverick, but a maverick only works within the rules. And I think Boris thinks himself significantly bigger than that.